Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You're ready to level up your English.
Always ready to talk about language learning. And this time, we're focused on something really cool.
Right. Using podcasts to learn and improve English skills. I mean, we all love a good podcast, but can they really make a difference?
That's exactly what we're diving into today, the power of podcasts
Hmm.
for language acquisition.
I've definitely had moments, just listening to something and suddenly, bam, I understand everything so clearly.
Absolutely. And that's what's so amazing about podcasts. They really immerse you in the language in a way that traditional learning sometimes misses.
That's true. It's not just about textbooks and grammar rules anymore.
No, not at all. Podcasts throw you right into the thick of it. Real life conversations, different accents, everyday expressions, all those things you don't always get in a classroom.
It's like the difference between, say, reading a travel guide about a new city versus actually wandering those streets yourself.
Exactly. Podcasts are like that. They're the experience, the real deal. It's like having a conversation with native speakers. And that kind of exposure, that's where the magic happens.
And the research backed this up. We've got some fascinating stuff here about how effective this listening immersion, as they call it, really is.
Right. And one of the biggest takeaways for me is how this immersion helps your brain adapt to the natural flow of English. It's like you're training your ear for conversation.
You start to pick up on all those subtle cues, the rhythm, the intonation, even just the pauses and hesitations that are part of real speech.
Exactly, those pauses, because even those pauses, they tell a story. And those are the elements that really bring the language to life.
Okay, but be honest, how many times have you started a language learning app, felt super motivated for like a day, and then life gets in the way?
Oh, way more times than I'd like to admit. But that's what I love about podcasts. It's not about rigid schedules or feeling tied down.
You can listen anytime, anywhere.
Precisely. While you're on that morning run, waiting for the bus, even just folding laundry, it's about fitting learning into those little pockets of time throughout your day.
I've even started listening while I cook. It makes those mundane tasks way more enjoyable. Plus, no more excuses about not having time to practice.
It's like sneaking in learning without even realizing it.
Exactly. And because podcasts cover such a huge range of topics, you're bound to find something that interests you. That's what makes it so effective. You're genuinely engaged.
Couldn't agree more. And here's another point. Because podcasts use that natural conversational English, you're picking up so much more than just vocabulary. Think idioms, slang, even cultural references.
You're getting a real sense of how English is used in different contexts, right?
Exactly. You start to understand the nuances, the humor, the little things that make a language feel authentic. It's like you're getting a backstage pass to how English is really spoken.
It's true. It's not just about being grammatically correct. It's about sounding natural, like you actually belong in the conversation.
And that's where that confidence comes from really owning those expressions, those turns of phrase that make your English feel truly authentic. And while we're talking about the benefits, we can't forget about pronunciation.
It's so important, right?
Yeah,
And something that many learners struggle with.
it's true. But the more you listen to native speakers, the more you internalize their pronunciation, their intonation, their rhythm. It's like having a pronunciation coach whispering in your ear.
It's true. You almost start mimicking it without even realizing. It's like when you spend a lot of time with someone, you start picking up their little habits, their way of speaking. It just rubs off on you.
Exactly. And the great thing about podcasts is you have access to so many different voices.
Right, from all over the world.
Exactly. So not only are you getting a handle on standard pronunciation, but you're also being exposed to different accents, different speaking styles.
It's like you're training your ear to understand and appreciate the incredible diversity within the English language. And speaking of diversity, that brings us to another amazing thing about podcasts, the sheer variety.
It's endless.
From true crime to comedy, history, science, business, news, you name it. And that's key, isn't it? Finding something that genuinely interests you, something that keeps you coming back for more.
Absolutely. That's how you turn learning English from a chore into a pleasure. Choose podcasts on topics you're passionate about, and suddenly it doesn't feel like work anymore.
It's like what's that saying? Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It's the same with language learning.
I love that. Find a podcast you love, and you'll never have to study English again.
You'll be learning without even realizing it. It'll just become a natural part of your day, like brushing your teeth or, well, listening to your favorite podcast.
Exactly. And all those little moments of listening, they add up over time. You build this incredible foundation of vocabulary, grammar, and cultural understanding, all while being entertained and engaged.
So, to wrap things up, for anyone listening who wants to boost their English skills, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
I'd say don't overthink it. Just dive in. Find a podcast that sparks your curiosity, hit play, and let yourself get lost in the world of English.
It's as simple as that. Find something you enjoy and let the learning happen naturally. And who knows, you might even discover a new passion along the way.
Exactly.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
It's been a pleasure.